Members of the station also have a problem with the mainstream media. Al Jazeera America producer Hashim Saeed criticized ABC News for what he viewed as not paying respect to accused mass shooter Tafshin Malik by showing images where she did not wear a burqa. When hit with initial criticism on Twitter, Saeed did not relent, saying ABC was disrespectful. Only after a massive backlash ensued did the producer issue an apology and pull the original tweet. Al Jazeera's previous battles with the U.S. on issues in the Middle East paint a picture of its current snafu with Donald Trump. From 2011 to January of this year, Al Jazeera's stance on Trump could stem from the ideology of its leadership. A leaked email from an Al Jazeera English executive to the newsroom details words and phrases the network will not use in its stories. They are extremist, terrorist or terrorism, Islamist, and jihad, specifically noting one person's terrorist is another's freedom fighter. A different section is devoted to the use of the words militants, radicals, and insurgents, all of which the network has banned, choosing to instead use the blanket term fighters.
Just when Al Jazeera thought people had forgotten the fact that they are owned by the ruling family of Qatar, the same ruling family who gives money to terrorist groups, making their channel a funding source for terrorism, Al Jazeera shows their true colors to the world once again. Just this week, an Al Jazeera producer took to Twitter to voice his disgust for ABC because ABC showed the face of Tafshin Malik, one of the terrorists from the San Bernardino attack, without a burqa covering her face. How dare you, ABC? How dare you show a photograph of a radical Islamic terrorist who brutally killed 14 people and wounded 21 others, a photo of her not wearing the outfit of her choice? Where are your manners? This Al Jazeera producer took to Twitter again to reiterate how disrespectful it is not to understand how a culture works. I guess this producer forgot to remind Tafshin Malik how our culture works here in America, that it's disrespectful to shoot people, to kill people, to plan and execute deadly attacks against people just because we disagree with their religious beliefs. But please, Al Jazeera, tell us more about how we can respect a culture of terrorism. Here with me now to discuss is senior news analyst for the Media Research Center, Scott Whitlock. Scott, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
What do you think of these tweets from the Al Jazeera producer? Do you think it's disrespectful to show the face of a terrorist without a burqa just because that was her religious belief?
Well, I think what's disrespectful, like you said, is killing 14 people. And it's clear that Al Jazeera does not want to have an honest debate about this issue. Like you said, in January of 2015, they told their staffers that they didn't want them to use the words extremist and they didn't want to use the words Islamist. And so they really don't want to have an open discussion about this. How can you possibly talk about radical Islam, or how can you talk about ISIS if we don't talk about the fact that these two killers were Muslim? Of course, that doesn't mean that all Muslims are terrorists, but we can't have a discussion, a serious discussion about what to do on this issue if we don't talk about reality, if we don't face reality. And it doesn't seem like Al Jazeera wants to face the reality of the situation we're dealing with.
Right, and it's remarkable, I think, that more people don't realize that watching Al Jazeera helps make the channel money. I mean, watching it is how they make their money, and that the money the channel makes goes to the ruling family of Qatar. The ruling family of Qatar then gives money to terrorist organizations. So essentially, the channel helps fund terrorist organizations. People don't realize that, but in your opinion, what can we do, what can people do to help stop that funding pattern?
Well, I think the most important thing that we can do about it is educate them. Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of people don't know Al Jazeera's background. They don't know where the money is. So we just have to educate people. We have to make sure that online through different articles that they're aware of it, because it's a problem and it's just not going to be going away anytime soon.